In the swinging 1960s, a musical revolution was underway, and at the heart of it all was the iconic band, the Beatles. However, what most people don't realize is that during those heady days, the Beatles faced an astonishing challenge that would test their creativity, endurance, and sheer musical genius. The story I'm about to share is a riveting tale of how the Beatles pulled off a musical miracle, one that gave birth to their legendary album Rubber Soul. Picture this. It's late 1965, and the Beatles have just returned from their whirlwind tour of the United States following the release of their film, Help. But instead of basking in their success, they found themselves creatively drained, starved for new material, and facing a seemingly insurmountable task. They had only 1 month to create an entirely original album to be ready for a Christmas release. The clock was ticking, and the pressure was on. What's more, the musical landscape was shifting rapidly. Other bands like the Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys, and Bob Dylan were pushing the boundaries of pop music, delving into more complex and politically charged lyrics. The Beatles knew they needed to elevate their artistry and make a bold artistic statement. According to Paul McCartney, "We've done the poppy stuff like She Loves You and From Me to You, aimed directly at our fans. But now we've reached a point where we thought, we've done that. Now let's branch out into something more surreal and entertaining." Influences from artists like Bob Dylan were seeping into their music, challenging them to explore new creative horizons. However, there was a significant hurdle to overcome. The primary songwriters, John Lennon and Paul McCartney, were struggling to churn out enough songs for the album. This presented an opportunity for George Harrison, the lead guitarist, and an emerging songwriter in his own right, to step up and contribute more significantly to the project. In a surprising departure from convention, the Beatles decided to create film clips instead of making numerous TV appearances to promote their singles, a decision that would have a lasting impact on the world of pop music. The clock was ticking louder with each passing day as the Beatles embarked on a daily race against time. They began recording the majority of the songs on Rubber Soul soon after returning to London from their North American tour. Their experiences in America had left an indelible mark on them, shaping the album's direction. One of the earliest songs recorded during the sessions was John Lennon's Run for Your Life, which remarkably came together in just 1 day. It was a sign of the incredible musical chemistry that still existed within the band, even amid the challenges. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Recording Norwegian Wood proved to be a tough nut to crack. They went through numerous versions of the song before it felt right. The breakthrough came when John decided to play the guitar loudly into the microphone while singing, giving the song its distinctive sound. As the pressure mounted, the Beatles faced internal conflicts. The clashes between John and Paul became more evident, and George had to weather Paul's demanding standards. George Martin, their producer, recalled, "Paul was absolutely finicky. On certain songs, Paul would play the solos himself, even though George had done multiple takes. George had to swallow the criticism and carry on." With the deadline looming, the Beatles even had to revisit some discarded songs to complete the album. They worked tirelessly, and on November 11th, after a grueling 13-hour recording session, they put the finishing touches on Rubber Soul. The story doesn't end there. The final mono and stereo mixes were completed, and the album was manufactured just in time for its UK release on December 3rd, 1965. The results were nothing short of phenomenal. The double A-sided singles and the album itself soared to the top of the charts in many countries. Rubber Soul marked a pivotal moment in the Beatles' career. It showcased their evolving maturity as lyricists and their willingness to experiment with brighter guitar tones and innovative instruments like the sitar, harmonium, and fuzz bass. The band was pushing the boundaries of what pop music could be, exploring more expressive sounds and arrangements. Although Rubber Soul might be overshadowed by their later masterpieces like Revolver and Sgt. Pepper, it remains a cherished and influential album in the history of music. In fact, it even served as the inspiration for Brian Wilson's classic Pet Sounds. So, the next time you listen to Rubber Soul, remember the incredible journey behind its creation. It's a story of relentless determination, boundless creativity, and the unshakable spirit of the Beatles. Leave a comment with your favorite track from Rubber Soul, and stay tuned for more captivating stories from the world of music. Until next time.